Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get it.
Unified Media Dropping Gems Podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. A little after 8 p.m. Eastern Time revolves around the topic seeking purpose. Like and share this video to those who will find this information useful. Tune into the show once a week, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, where we have raw, uncut, open discussions that can range with insightful and educational information across the board. Other episodes will include past and current events, trending topics, conspiracies, personal journey, and more. We also invite special guests to shed light on who they are, what professional industry they are in. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, email droppinggemspodcasting@gmail.com with your name, business, industry, social media info, and brief bio. Hosted by yours truly, JL The Truth and Aki ONTL The One. Support the show by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. I'm going to start off real quick with this 3 minutes video with a interview by Joyce Meyer, who I believe is in the ministry field. She's being questioned in regards to somebody who wanted to ask her, what does it take to know your purpose or find your purpose or seek your purpose? And this is how she breaks it down.
Let's go, Joyce.
Here's a question from Diane in Franklin Square, New York. Joyce, I want to know my purpose. Life is stressful and the clock is ticking. I know I have a God given purpose, but I feel frustrated that I don't see any change on the horizon. I don't have the answers. My fear is that I missed the mark. Why does it seem that God is not answering me?
Well, the thing that comes to me for her is instead of trying to figure all this stuff out, I believe that what your purpose is something that you're going to enjoy. I think that it's something that you're probably pretty good at. It doesn't make any sense if the God who loves us so much would make me do something all my life that I hated and was no good at.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't just step out and find out, just start doing some things, kingdom things I'm talking about, and see if it's a fit for you. And I tell this frequently and people always laugh when I do, but I just was so hungry to serve God. I mean, I didn't know exactly, I didn't know at that time that I was going to be teaching, but I just wanted to serve God. And so I was pretty bold and I would step out and try things. And one of the first things I tried was street evangelism. My church at that time was real big on going out in the streets and passing out tracts. And I went and I hated it. Now, I mean, that may sound bad. Maybe I should love it, but I didn't love it. And I remember the first time I handed a tract to somebody, they slapped it out of my hand and said, I don't want that blankety blank thing. And then I tried nursery, working in the nursery. And that only took about 2 weeks. And me and the kids knew I wasn't called to that. And I mean, I would, anything that they needed help with, I'd try to help it. I tried to be my pastor's secretary for one day. And after one day, I got fired. And that was so devastating. And he just basically said, I don't know why you didn't do anything wrong, but this just doesn't feel right. And so when I started teaching, when I was asked to teach a Bible study, well, that was it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so try, just don't be afraid. In order to try things, you have to not be afraid of failure
Mm-hmm.
because
That's huge.
you will fail at some things on your way to finding out what it is that God wants you to do.
So maybe in this case, instead of asking why God's not answering, it's checking out the what's, trying all the possibilities and seeing
Take
what
advantage
fits.
of anything
Good.
that comes in front of you. And I know one girl, she couldn't seem to figure out what it was that God wanted her to do, and she was getting on up in years in her life. Sounds like this girl I'm talking about was probably already in her 50s, and she wasn't married and had not, nor was she dating, and felt like this, frustrated. And she said God gave her the scripture very strongly one morning. I think it's Psalm 100 verse 4, serve the Lord with gladness. And see, even that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people in the Bible that were called just to minister to the Lord, and that's all. They just ministered to God in the temple day and night.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're looking for something that's got a big title on it that may be impressive. And what if your whole purpose was just to be an encourager to other people,
Yeah.
or intercessory prayer,
It's an
or
important purpose.
sometimes it's just take every opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else, and you won't be too far from finding your purpose in life.
Ooh.
That was powerful.
That-
Take
that
a
ain't-
moment to be a blessing in other people's lives, and you can find your purpose through that.
And I love how she said that and broke it down, because sometimes we all are faced with that. We all are faced with, what is it that you're actually good at? What is it that you should be good doing? And excuse me, some of us are really good at a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
They're like very skilled in different areas and aspects, but don't know how to really hone in on that skill or put it, make use of it.
Yeah.
And I like what she said, because that's what I found myself like that a few years ago, where I just didn't know what I was capable of being good at, because I was good at a lot of things. Like I used to get it a lot, Aki. Like people used to tell me, "Oh man, you should be this, you should be this, you should do this, you should do that," because I was good at it, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like a real thing for me. And you know what I'm saying? And realistically now I found what my true purpose is, but still stepping into it and now really like enjoying it now, and that's just being who I am, which is almost like like ministering, being a I'm saying, a teacher, because
Mhm.
in Hebrew your soul means to teach. So my entire soul is my ability to teach. As long as I have breath in my air, that is my ability to teach. Now, me taking it to a bigger scale and things like that, I think so far the biggest scale I've graduated to was this show,
Mm.
Dropping Gems. You know what I mean? That's I teach from this point and this perspective. And then me being in certain job roles I had, working 9 to 5, I was always becoming the supervisor or leader, and I was always great at that. Some people didn't recognize that in me, because they looked at me like, man, you can't do that. But then it was like, watch me. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I can't do it. It's my style of how I do it. I'm not the typical, boss, do this, do this, do this because I said so. It was, hey, this is what is being asked of. How can you as a person, how can I help you who you are, not change who you are, but still accomplish something for the company and be who you need to be for the company as well? And so that my biggest success with that, I believe, I was at when I used to work in Santa Monica as an ambassador, as a person who had the ability to understand the job, be a great leader in it, and also motivate others, to really do the job.
Right.
And stuff like that. So I still, to this day, I always say that that's going to be my biggest thing, and I'm always do that. I'm figuring out different ways of how to do it.
What I've noticed is that, and just taking from what she was mentioning, that person was, she used an example of a 50-year-old woman. To know that there's people that are 40, 50 years old and still haven't quite figured out what it is they want to do with their life tells me something. And what I get from that is that people are so flustered with the day-to-day, with everything with the responsibility of having to work a 9 to 5, the weekly expenses always coming in, that I don't think people give themselves an opportunity to sit down and really think about, what should I be doing with my life? What really gives me purpose? What gives me fulfillment?
That's
so much time goes by. Yeah, that so much time goes by, and then something happens where, and there could be many different things that can occur in somebody's life. Like yourself, you get injured, right? And now you have a moment of downtime to really sit there and think about what your next move is going to be, right? So let's just say, if, for instance, which you have purpose and you're already leading towards those goals, you're already in the moment actually pursuing those things and providing that stuff. You know, you're a teacher, you're a leader, right? So you're providing great information, wisdom, experience, and you're teaching people through the tools of Hebrewism, right? So if somebody who is doesn't even know, 40, 50 years old, gets injured like you did, right? And then is able to just sit down and reflect and be like, damn, what have I really done with my time? It takes something that drastic to occur for you to slow down and really think about, what have I really done in my life? Where am I headed? Where am I going? Now, I do want people that are tuned in and that are consuming this later on to understand that no matter what age you are, when you have a moment of reflection like that, anything can change within the next year, 5, 10 years down the line. You're still breathing, you still have life. There is so much you can still offer, not only to your own life, but to others around you, no matter what age you are. So I want to make that clear.
Man, and you know that it's funny because that is true, and there's a lot of people like that. I think there's a few entertainers, I can't remember them exactly, but there's a few entertainers who didn't get their actual acting break until they were in their 40s and 50s. I mean, like Morgan Freeman been acting for a while, but we all recognize him with the white hair. A lot of us haven't seen him with his brown and dark brown hair. You get what I mean? Same thing for Fred Sanford. He was a comedian for a while, but we knew Fred in his older age. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of us got to meet Fred Sanford in his 20s and 30s. He could 40s and 50 years old. You get what I mean? There's a lot of people that has those type of things, and you know, sometimes it takes, because you become you've graduated to that level where now once you get to that stage, if it is that age, you know, you get to be able to progress or effectively be efficient in that, and from what you already have grasped and everything that you've already got, to be able to effectively give what you need to give and have that desired result in it. Because that's a piece I'm working on right now for this season, is called being efficient in the brilliance of Yahweh. And in there, it just really, it helps me realize like how to be effective to be able to produce a desired result, you know what I'm saying, and what it takes and the brilliance behind it. And so, you know, a lot of times we don't know, you know, you may not be the person to be 20 years old, 19 years old to, you know, take off. You might have to get to your 40s, just so therefore you've gained enough experience and knowledge to where you now, when you make your decision, your choices and your decisions that you make, you're a little bit more sharper with them than you was at that time. You know 100%. What I mean?
100%. And I think what's so special about our times now with tools that we have, you know, with social media, you know, platforms like this where we can provide information, you know, streaming on TikTok, you know, apps like Discord where you can have more personable conversations when you're building a community. This is what I realized, Aki, is that I knew that I wanted to build community. And I wanted to create and cultivate something special. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I wrote it down, right? And that was about 2 years ago when I first met you. I said, I want to cultivate a community. I just don't know how it's going to happen. Now, this is what's so important when it comes to also seeking purpose and the things that you want to do. Writing them down is there's a 70% more chance of you actually accomplishing that, because you're writing it down, you see it every single day, and then you're applying action behind those words. 2 years later, and then 8 months within building community, 8 months later, something happened in my stream today, which was absolutely amazing. And I want to thank Snoopy for being here. She says, I've always struggled trying to figure that out, but those words made me figure that maybe I'm on here to make an impact in other people's lives. Snoopy, you are somebody that definitely impacts others in our space, and you're going to be detriment not only to yourself, Lisa, and your grandchildren, but everybody around you that appreciates your wisdom as well. So Snoopy, definitely hold on to that piece. But something today happened, Aki, and I remember that 8 months ago, while building this within the last 2 years with you, I told myself that I wanted to see my room explode, right? I'm reaching for 100 plus people in my stream. Now, I didn't know when that was going to happen, but I constantly told myself I can get to 100 plus people in my stream. And today, I'm already like probably like less than 5% almost there. My room hit almost 72, 75 people in the stream today. Consistently.
Wow.
It just stood at 75 people. Absolute explosion today. And not even on my main account. It happened on my backup by mistake, which then led to another innovation of another stream idea that I had moving down, going into this next week for tournaments and stuff like that to host these things. But what I'm trying to get to, Aki, is that you don't know when these things are going to occur. All you have to do is write them down, apply action behind those words, seek it, have intent behind that, have true intent behind those words, apply those actions, and things will start to open up for you. And I never knew it was going to be like this through a platform like live streaming. And you have to pivot. You have to be able to pivot because, you know, these last 2 years we created the Unified Media Group, you know, which we probably have now probably down from 30 to 20 people. I know that we all get consumed by our daily to day lives or whatever the case may be, but I always make it apparent that whenever I get a chance, I do my well-being check to see how everybody's doing, right? And then you just add the layer of just wanting to apply yourself to teach people things that occur in your life, your experience. Apply yourself and then teach people how to do it themselves on how they can apply it their own unique way within their space. That's what makes this platform so special for us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're utilizing these tools to give people insight to then make them think on another level. Like Snoopy has never processed that before. Now she has a chance to think about it, resonate, and be like, yo, now, you know, something has clicked for her. Now she can take that information and do something with it. And that is, to me, is something truly powerful.
I mean, shout out to Snoopy, man, just for you even putting that out there and having the courage to, you know, put that and being tuned in. You know, I'm glad we were able to help you with something like that, to be able to see that, because that's what this show is about. That's what this show is really for. Like, we really do this for the empowerment of others, not just ourselves. Like, we're just here to give gems, just to give ideas, insights, and thought process, considering you know, ideas and things of that nature. But it's not here to tell somebody what and how to do something. It's just more so, hey, consider this, and, you know, maybe think about this, and then you go from there. Because me personally, I feel like with all of the technology and the things that we have nowadays and the access we have to a lot of information, it still makes people stagnant on situations because it's too much. It's like having an overload of dopamine and it's being overstimulated. And once you become overstimulated, you don't know what to do. It's still hard to process. But
Correct.
when you have people, when you have things that can give you something to where you utilize your brain, then that's where you're gaining your power back. Like, our brain is a tool in itself. It is not something that controls you. It is something you control. And that's the difference. You want to be able to control your mind, so you have the ability to give it what it needs, the food that it needs, the information that it needs, the thoughts that it needs, and things like that. It's going to always have different ideas and things floating around in it. But it's up to you to stop and look at them and say, oh, it's this one, oh, it's this one, or this one, or this one, and this one. And, you know, and that ability right there, some people have lost that because they're too busy, you know, scrolling on something or looking at other things, being entertained by other things. And a lot of times that happens. You know, I always tell my children too, I don't like TV. My dad used to say TV is the idiot box. It'll make you an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Because if you be too consumed in it, it will destroy your mind and your ability to think somebody's thinking for you. And then I look at my babies and I look at my children and I go, you know, when they're watching certain shows, they're so glued into it. It's like they're hypnotized and they're stuck and can't get out. And you're calling them and they're just stuck like this.
Now imagine taking that scenario and applying it somewhere where it'll be beneficial to your life.
Exactly. That's the difference.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
If we can stay glued and consume nonsense, why can't we stay glued and consume something that's going to be beneficial to us?
Thank you, Aki. Thank you, Aki. That's the thing. That's the thing about being a leader too, and is being able to get somebody to come out and to think of in that nature, to say, hey, if I'm putting my time and energy into this and it's not getting me anywhere, what if I take that same time and energy and put it into something that can push me forward, to give me moving forward, to find what I can engage in, be committed to, and then put forth the application and apply the methods needed. So therefore now we can go ahead and become something or do something better and change better. You know what I mean? We're all on our own journeys, but at the end of the day, you need to really, really pay attention and be more intentional about things now. And that's where I feel like when it comes down to your purpose, it's really finding something that you can really put your time and energy in and being intentional about doing it.
It has to feel good to your spirit.
Always.
That you really have, like what she said when she said during that interview, is try everything. Try everything. Try everything until something speaks to your spirit and it fulfills you in some way. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. And then okay, I need to lean on this a little bit more and pay attention and be strategic about it. You know what I mean? Pay attention to the fine detail. I'll give you another example, Aki. During this last 2-year process as well, I've been wanting to be more health efficient. You know what I'm saying? And apply myself more diligently when it comes to working out, right? And eating better. I've been saying it for the last 2 years. God of War program, right? But I wasn't applying myself and adding small details. I wasn't being efficient with it. Until recently, the last 4 months, I said, you know what? It's done with me talking about it. I'm about to go all in and go hard. And the last 4 months, I did it. I dropped 12 pounds. I've been eating better. I've been paying attention to more details, applying myself differently, trying different exercises out, putting myself on a program. So that way, these next 4 months, these next 6 months that I stay diligent on this process, that's when the transformation starts to take place. And when you transform yourself physically, that's when you transform yourself mentally and spiritually.
Yes, sir. Shout out to 65 Rose Athletics. Yeah, he said, of course I come on during this part.
And this is why you can't even, when it comes to the universe and the way the universe works, absolutely amazing. And kudos to 65 Rose Athletics, providing that program and keep holding me accountable for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because he does his daily check-ins or whatever the case may be, but I have to hold myself accountable to make sure I get each workout done every single time, because I have to go into the app, I have to put it in, and I see a percentage. Numbers help. When you see your percentages increasing throughout the month, okay, I'm 50% through my goal for this month. I got another 50% to knock out for the rest of the month.
A little excited.
Yeah, it's super exciting. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I want to mention when it comes to seeking purpose. Things that you are into. It may start off as a hobby. It may start off as just something fun. When I first started music, over a decade ago, I thought of it as being fun. Like, yeah, let me just write, almost like the way you write in a journal. Let me just write and express myself and what I'm living in the moment. And while I was sitting there writing, I said, you know what? Let me go try to record. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. Yes, people are going to critique it or whatever and have criticism towards me writing or whatever, or recording or whatever. Not everybody's going to like it, but oh well, I'm going to do it anyway. And then as I started to do it, I started to hone and take the skill set more seriously. And then a decade later, you see the difference in the sound of music. And that's the same thing with anything. Anything you put your mind to and you put your effort behind and you take diligently every single day, you put your time and effort into honing certain skills, you're going to take it to the next level. It's inevitable. And what happens always, Aki. And there's one thing right now that's happening that I'm super uncomfortable with, and I'm trying out something new to add to my repertoire. So recently I fell asleep and I thought, what can I do as a side business venture to add to help other people?
I was going to talk to you about that one too. I'm glad you bring that up. Go ahead and continue, brother.
So I'm sitting there because I knew I wanted to get into brand ambassadorships and things like that and sell third party company products and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can sit here and I can wait to hit a certain level, on YouTube. I could wait and sit here to hit a certain level on TikTok, or I could just go in, educate myself, do the research, and apply myself now. So that way I'm working towards not only the explosion of TikTok and YouTube, but I'm also learning what it takes to build an affiliate marketing business. So I'm sitting there, and this was like 2 days ago, Aki. I'm half asleep and I'm half awake dreaming. And I'm like, something's telling my spirit, yo, you need to go ahead and start doing this research. So I go ahead and I take the whole Saturday off, like a job. I promise you, when you do research and you're trying to apply yourself with something new, it's going to take all day to do. So like an 8-hour shift, I stood in front of the computer, taking down notes, looking up affiliate marketing. And I came across this one thing that I want you to write down, and anybody here that's interested in affiliate marketing, because I got to do more research.
That's why when I seen what you posted, I said,
oh, he's working on something.
But I have it had been in the back of my mind. Before I used to have a Shopify store, Aki.
Love it.
See, I had already been in there, but I got distracted with a lot of things and really didn't have nobody there to kind of help either, to help keep me motivated other than myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When I seen that,
Now,
I said, whew, I'm gonna talk to him about that one.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get right. So this particular I wrote down this particular, and anybody that's tuned in that's even considering wanting to get into the affiliate market space, the one application I want you to look at, website, company, is called ClickBank. Now ClickBank is one word, ClickBank, and ClickBank gives you a pool of reputable companies that are looking for influencers like ourselves to come in and sell products at a commission rate. Ooh. Now there's other things that you're going to have to put in and be uncomfortable with, but with what we talked about last week, when it came to AI tools, there are going to be AI tools that you're going to be able to utilize that are going to be efficient during this process to help you put together not only a website, put together some articles, but also put together videos like you probably saw yesterday. That was all AI generated. The video was AI generated. The article was AI generated, but I went in and I edited the article myself. And then the products that I was considering are things that I'm interested in, that I know that are going to either be beneficial, be innovative, or entertaining to anybody within my space. And that's what I started doing. And I'm completely uncomfortable with it because it's foreign to me, but I'm willing to step into it so I can learn something to add value, not only to myself, but others around me.
Man, let's get into it, Aki, because that's again, like I said before, I had me a Shopify store. I was dealing with AliExpressway and Obolero or Herbalo or something like that. It's the other different third-party companies that they ship out and ship things and do the products and stuff for you. I didn't have to touch anything. But at the time, like I said, I was getting into it. I was doing my thing. I was actually promoting it and stuff on my Instagram and stuff like that. But it became discouraging because I didn't fully have everything that I really needed to make a sale. I checked and verified everything did work, but it wasn't reaching how I wanted to. And at the time I was going through some things. So it didn't for me, I didn't push through with it. You know what I mean? But I knew I was going to come back around with that because I was into the electronics, like what you were what you're promoting, dealing with watches, smart watches, dealing with what is it, the drones, cameras and stuff like that. And now that I have my own camera, it gets me even more excited because now I have an idea on how cameras work. I'm doing photography now, so selling lenses, doing extra things like that. Definitely. And so and I'm glad you saying got into that, because now we can work on that together.
Oh yeah,
there's some things I've seen already that that we can really do
hand in hand. We'll just throw tools back and forth. I'll send you links that you can digest. The first thing I want to say that it's going to take us about 6 months to build.
I don't care.
At the very least, it's going to take us about 6 months to build. And what my pitch was this simple. I told my community, if you're in the market searching for anything across the board, send it to me and I'm going to do the work for you to find the best deals and the best offer in the market for you. And I'm going to get comparison between products. I'm going to get research reviews. I'm going to do it all for you to save you the time and headache. That's how I think somebody should go ahead and apply themselves and say, hey, I'll do it all for you. You tell me what you're searching for, and I'll do all the work for you and get you some comparison.
Man, come on, let's go, Aki. Look,
You
phone
know what
call
I'm saying?
tomorrow morning, bro. I'm gonna call you tomorrow
Yeah,
morning.
we'll lock in tomorrow morning. I'll open up. We'll open up. Unified Media on Instagram, and we'll get right to it. Like, because in the morning time, I'm already gonna be soaking up like a bunch of videos of other people that are successful, making anywhere between 5 to 6 figures a year, and then some are making 5 figures a month.
A
You know what I'm
month.
saying? A month. And with that, and when you apply 5 figures a month to what we're trying to create, that's when you can start putting in investment portfolios. You can start thinking about Roth. You can start even thinking about crypto. I want to let everybody know here for a second, please, if you have a little bit of equity right now to spare, especially during tax season,
Mm-hmm.
you have a little equity to spare during tax season, consider doing some research on crypto again, because I'm big when it comes to crypto assets. Look up the crypto market, research it, educate yourself, because the bull run is about to happen during the summertime, because we're already in the fourth halving. I know these are probably terms people don't understand. I'm still learning as I go, but if you want to get a little bump in your pocket and get a good turnaround rate and some profit, definitely check out crypto before the summertime. Accumulate some digital assets. And if you're not into crypto, guess what they just came out with? They've already applied Bitcoin ETFs in the stock market, and I'm already going to get my investment done.
I would, if I were you, I would do for anybody new, do the Bitcoin ETF. You will save yourself. You will save yourself, because what it does is, if you can't you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, but
Correct.
what you're going to be able to do now is be able to buy portfolios of different cryptos that are going to be on the bull run, and put it in there. I seen about that in crypto, and right now Bitcoin did its halving thing now, so it went down to where to make a purchase and to buy it, it's a little, your buy-in is a little bit better now. So I was just like, oh, I got me a little something in there. I got me a little something.
I got me a little something in there too. I plan on my goal is to try to, before the summertime, have at least something in there where I can 10x. My goal is to try to hit at least 10K in my portfolio. Hopefully during this bull run, try to make at least 10K. And then throw half in an emergency fund, and leave the other half in the portfolio, and maybe try to 10x again. You know what I'm saying? So but again, these are things I'm circling around to for this purpose of the podcast, is that you have to be able to step in and do things that interest you, even when they're completely uncomfortable and foreign to you, because then there may be a case that you might strike something that you didn't expect to strike. You know what I'm saying?
Just like we were talking about last week on the show, when it came down to the gold, investing in gold and silver, like that is something you want to do. You want to have those assets, because you can, with gold and silver, those are more commodity and things, and you can put those inside of trust funds where now they're tax write-offs, and you don't even get taxed for having those things, and then they increase in value. So think about it this way. As while we're on it, your purpose, if you're going to be a person who really wants to be into the financial space, you should look at all of the different ways that finances can be effective, and the way you can build on them. And one of those ways is buying those type of commodities that have value holding assets, because gold and silver has been around since before I was even born, since before a lot of us was born. So you don't think that it has value to it? You get what I mean? Like that's what you want to consider. And then now with the new digital currency and things of that nature, a lot of those things will be able to, 10x, you'll be able to get you more, and to be able to invest more. Like you saying, you put it in the savings, and keeping the other half there, just to be able to still have something in there. I can tell you right now, having a little bit of those digital assets, and then getting a little bit of those, it's not much, but I've, been to get $50, $100, $200, I'm saying, out of something that you've had sitting in there to be able to use.
You're making your money work. You're making your money work. Your money's now working for you.
and I've been holding some stuff for probably for a year now, you know what I'm saying? And it's been building increasingly, been building. It's been dips, it's been valleys, it's been peaks, but it's,
Absolutely.
you know, at the end of the day, it's worth it. So, you know, there's a purpose. You can have a thought for a purpose that somebody in here, like a lot of us are struggling when it comes down to finances. A lot of us don't have a lot of those things, but you start somewhere and stay consistent in it, and you'll watch it. Like, you know, I'm telling you right now, when the dollar's already diminished, but I have gold and silver set aside to where now when it's completely gone and they're not accepting it anymore, and they're only accepting gold and silver, or they're only accepting digital assets, you have something to be able to do. And then having a business or having the ability to provide a service or a business for something, now you can be paid in those things. So that's another reason why you want to get it set up with, you know what I mean? That's a purpose for somebody who's on here who may be watching it and maybe wanting to know what to do when it comes down to finances. And if you don't know anything about it, get uncomfortable with learning financial literacy, and then you become financially literate.
Definitely, 100%, Aki. I love that. So yeah, you know, circling back around to seeking purpose, and you know, about this affiliate marketing business. If I would have tried to start this 2 years ago without, you know, unified media, without this podcast, without creating the TikTok community that I created, I wouldn't have the confidence or the courage to want to step into it. But because I feel like I haven't, you know, a support system and have a unique way of being able to provide the information, I said, you know what? It's a no-brainer. Let me step into it and build something for the next 6 months and set small goals, you know, small.
Man, that was me 2 years ago, Aki. That's why I said I had my Shopify store 2 years ago, bro. Before I got
I had a Shopify store too before 2 years ago, and they were killing me like $30 a month.
Yeah,
and anything. And they got me for the whole year, Aki. They got me for the whole year.
Hey man, and like I said, I think I had like 2 sales, and one sale came from just me buying something from myself just to make sure making it work. But it was one of those things where at the time Shopify was really coming up. And so it was thing, and there was people on here who created the Shopify store for you. You can buy the Shopify store all yourself, and you just have to do all of the things. But at that time, I really didn't understand marketing, advertisement, how to really create a web page, what to make the web page look like, and things like that. I did a little bit of research on it. I did a little bit in there, but I didn't really have anybody else that I can talk to just like this that'll really help me. It was all online, and people just wanted money for everything. And so it was
every single thing.
It discouraged me because it was just like, bro, I just want information, man. I'm just trying to talk to somebody where it's like I have this now. What else do I do in it? And I was just telling my wife the other day, like when it came down to a business, I was talking with somebody who owned the business, but then he didn't teach me how to do it. I created a record label with my brothers, but then didn't realize that I can have the record label open, you know, have it look like I'm doing certain things, and then get business funding, and then be able to fund the projects that we were working on. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to do all of those things, it would have made it easier. We'd have had 5-6 projects out already between that time and now, because I would have had the business would have been able to do it, and I would have been able to market, and you know what I'm saying, and be able to put up a budget for it, create what we needed to create, because we always had the ideas. We just didn't have the funds to get what we needed in order to do things. You know what I mean? When it came down to the music videos and everything, we had people that could do it for us, but one didn't. And realizing that, then the dude just wanted to take money from us, man. You know what I mean? So it is sometimes that happens when it comes down to you finding or seeking your purpose in life, because I thought that was going to be the purpose for us, was to be able to do that. But now realizing what's going on in that industry right now, we had a bigger purpose in life other than just entertaining through music and through all of those things. It was more of giving a message and being positive, but standing on business as to I'm not sacrificing my integrity or my morality and ethics to you know, for a little piece of something that you have more control over than I do. I want my full control. And since then, being able to have full control over the music that I put out, when I want to, how I want to, if it's right for me, if it's not. I'm not looking for people to sit there and tell me when I need to put it out. I don't care that people don't, you know what I'm saying, see that I haven't did music in a long time. When it come out, it's going to be quality of work, and when you enjoy it, it's going to be it, man.
Amazing. It's
You know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
amazing.
So
And I wanna
sometimes,
and I want to take from that experience, but go ahead, finish.
no, I was saying sometimes it like we spoke earlier. Sometimes it's not. You just got to keep trying different things. You know what I'm saying? And then at that moment or at that time, the dots will connect. And you know, to be able to come back and circle back and talking about the affiliate, doing things with clickbait and things like that, to selling products and being an affiliate person. I was, like I said, we both were in that same space, you know, without knowing it. And now look at, here we are back now, circling
Years
back
later,
around again.
2 years later, and we never had this conversation in these
No.
2 years. Mind you, everybody that's in here, we haven't talked about affiliate marketing, selling products in our 2 years of building our partnership. So, in our business acumen. So I just want to let you guys know that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I want to take a piece of what you mentioned there, Aki, that you had somebody that tried to structure something for you that you guys felt was your true purpose at the moment, which, circling back to, you're going to still be able to provide that purpose. You're going to still be able to produce that music, but now you're going to be able to do it at your leisure with your own company. But what I want to mention is that you realize that you didn't want to do it for somebody else that was going to own, you know, a percentage of whatever, or maneuver unethically, you know, with lack of morals and principles. You didn't want to do business that way. That didn't speak to your spirit. They went about it the wrong way, and they utilized and took advantage of you and your brother, which is now a learning curve. Because now, when you have an opportunity to apply yourself differently and get some new information, and then you come across some new liquidity, now you have a moment now where you can say, okay, now I can take this money and I can utilize it and release 3-4 projects at my own leisure with my brother and reap all the benefits, because I've already learned from that situation.
That's, man, that's what I just tell my wife, bro. It's like me when it came down
It
to
was supposed to happen.
Right. Because look at it. At that time, we didn't know anything about marketing, advertising, and things. We had an idea, but didn't know necessarily how to do the works behind the scene and what it would take behind the scene.
Right.
When we seen what was going down in New York, having a billboard, and we seen how your billboard affected a lot of people, nobody even knew you. We didn't know you. But your family being there, showing support to who you are, grabbed our attention. It made me go, and made one go, how this dude get this on the billboard? One, and then on top of that, too, that's who we need to be talking to, because you know, we need to be on the billboard. The person we were dealing with, they got on the billboard too. You know, the fashion designer that we were doing, they got on the billboard too, but they were doing different things for a different reason. Yours was in music, which we were looking for because it was in our music. They were for modeling. So it was more like, this person already kind of has an idea. Let's connect. Let's see how this was. Let's see where this go. It really struck in us because it's like I said, like you said, and like we said, we didn't want to do business with that other person anymore because that other person didn't really give us the tools needed. You know what I'm saying? It was more like how these labels do. And, you know, that like they were more focused on trying to make the artist really just make them like he wanted us to really just make the music and focus on the music without really understanding the business, and he would handle all of the business until he seen Avery Drift got to sit behind and understand, and he's been in a few places where business became a conversation, and he learned some things to where he helped point out some things we were not able to see. So, you know, it was a good thing we didn't sign any contracts. We didn't sign anything that would have locked us or made us stay in something, or, you know what I'm saying, something we would have had to break. But learning is powerful, you know what I'm saying? And being able to stick with something that speaks to your spirit really helps, because imagine if we didn't, Aki, man, we wouldn't have never met. I can tell you that. I can guarantee we would not be here right now.
There wouldn't be no unified media. There wouldn't be no podcast. There wouldn't be no music review platform. There wouldn't be no TikTok community. None of that. All of it was supposed to happen to push us out of our comfort zone, to meet wonderful people in the space. so that way we can educate each other and elevate each other and give each other the proper tools, the information that is necessary to take our life to the next level. There is a lack of that, people. I'm letting you guys know that right now. Everybody in the world, 90% of the world is just focused on them. So when you have a moment and you sit back and you think about everything that has transpired in the last 2 years of your life, or even within the last couple of weeks and months, and you have good people around you that want to see you win, that want to give you information, that want to take it to the next level, that sincerely want to see you and your family thrive, hold on to those relationships and find ways to make them even stronger and better. I'm about to give you guys some game real quick before we get into the halftime. When I was seeking more purpose within the film industry, I knew that I had to step into another uncomfortable situation where I had to apply myself yet again. I ended up taking a class called the Oklahoma Film and Television Academy. That was like it was like a 3-month crash course of learning the business of film, behind the camera, what it takes to build a film studio, everything, right? The ins and outs. This is what I learned from stepping into it. I did not want to be controlled by the corporate system of the film industry the minute I got done with the class. Now, granted, I love me the Oklahoma, the off the school. I loved GPS Studios. They are amazing people, and they taught me a lot. But what I learned from it was this: I'm gonna take that information and I'm gonna apply it somewhere else, and I'm gonna create my audience somewhere else, so I have control of my narrative. I have control of how I want to build it, so I don't have to lean on somebody else's control of my destiny. So I'm not going to let the corporate world tell me, okay, you get, shoot for 100 auditions and you're only going to get 10% of the auditions, and then you got to wait 3 months to get paid. I said, no. I can't wait 3 months to get paid. Now, granted, I could grind like everybody else and go up that corporate ladder and rock it out, and then spend $3,000 on SAG-AFTRA so I can be in the union. But I told myself, if I'm going to go that route, I'm going to go this way instead, because I want to have control over what I want to create. And then when I build that audience over here on this side, now I have leverage. And once you have leverage and you have support, and then I can come into those meetings saying, listen, I have 1 million followers across every platform, or whatever the case may be. They will hire me before they hire a more advanced actor, because I have an audience before that actor.
You're guaranteed to bring money before that other person is.
And that's what I thought about. I thought about the business acumen of it. I said, you know what? I'm guaranteed to fill in seats, so I'm gonna go this route, even though this route might even be harder on my end. But I'm willing to sacrifice this route and control it with my narrative.
The idea, look, speaking of that, it's funny. I was watching this show, some people know, but this Jamie Foxx show. This is really one of my favorite shows from the 90s, the Jamie Foxx, early 2000s. Is the Jamie Foxx, Will Smith, Fresh Prince and all those things. But I was watching that show, and Jamie, it was the time where he became a jingles writer and stuff. Oh, hold on, bro.
You good, Aki? You good? I want to thank Snoopy, 65 Rose Athletics, Bronx Entertainment for tuning in. I appreciate y'all being here.
All right, sorry about that.
You good,
babies, man.
This is live. You're gonna get it. Listen, we don't edit, we don't change nothing.
Nah.
You get it right here in real time.
Hey, but I was watching the show, and Jamie went in there. He was great at what he does, singing, acting, and all of those things right there. But working for a jingles company, he came up with the greatest ideas, but because it wasn't the corporation's ideas, they were shooting it down or wanting him to change from his style and the way he did it. So, and his uncle, who owns the hotel, told him, hey, and if you really want to have control over you and your creative abilities, you must become your own business, or you must have your own business in order to control how you want it to control. If not, you're going to always have to answer to somebody else. And that was the vital key point right there. And you really, it hits. See, back then I was a kid, I was watching, I didn't understand that. Right. Now, after going through the experience and the things that I have and being in that and having that same feeling and notion, it made me go, yeah, you really have to be able to create your own thing, to have your own control over what you want, because other people are going to see it the way they want to see it. They'll utilize your talents and take advantage of them if you allow them,
Mhm.
and they'll get more than what you're giving, and they'll give you the crumbs just for saying, hey, thanks for the idea, thanks for giving me your
Mhm.
thing. But you had the whole, if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't even be getting what they're getting from it, you know what I mean? And that's how this is. That's the leverage you're speaking of. Now we're in a position where we understand the different side of the business and what it really takes, and though it may take a little longer to get there, but being able to, when you do get there, having that happiness, that enjoyment, that ability to say, hey, I built this from this time to this, and I have control over this. I have the leverage over this. Can't nobody take this from me. And I'm selling a product that I know put my blood, sweat, and tears in, and it's mine. I have control over how I want to utilize it and sell it, or
Mhm.
how I want to be able to give it out. Because some people do, there's many different ways of getting your brand and things across. So, but the fact that I watched that episode last night and here we are talking about purpose today, I mean, it just, you can't make this up, man. You can't make
Necessary.
this,
It's
you can't make this up.
necessary. It's
Yeah.
necessary.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely amazing. We're gonna take a quick intermission right now. I'm gonna end up playing a video from the one and only Robert Greene, the author of 48 Laws of Power and amazing other books. He's even worked with the likes of 50 Cent and created the book, The 50th Power. I want to create this I want to check out the segment real quick where he speaks about how to find purpose, his interpretation of it. Check this out.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone out there. My name is Robert Greene. The most important thing that you can discover or learn, which is what I call your life's task. So you're a detective looking in the interior of your childhood, of your early years, for those kinds of details. Hello, everyone out there. My name is Robert Greene. I'm the author of several books. My first one is perhaps the most famous one, The 48 Laws of Power. I've also written The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War. I co-wrote a book with the rapper 50 Cent called The 50th Law. I did a book called Mastery, Another Laws of Human Nature, my most recent book, The Daily Laws. As you can tell, my books sort of center around subjects dealing with power and interpersonal relationships. I want to talk now about probably the most frequent question that I get from people who email me, which has to do with a subject in my fifth book, Mastery. And in that book, I discuss what I think is the most important element in your life, the most important thing that you can discover or learn, which is what I call your life's task. And the idea is simple. You were born as an individual, completely unique. The DNA that comprises who you are has never existed in the millions of years of evolution and will never exist in the future. It is completely who you are. Your experiences as you grow up from 1 years on is unique in the world. Nobody ever in the past or future will have exactly your experiences, exactly your parents, etc. That marks you as an individual, completely unique. It's like a seed that's planted at your birth, right? And if you cultivate that seed, if you cultivate that uniqueness, you discover your life's task and you have success and power and money will come to you and your life will be fulfilled. And if you don't, to any degree, if you completely fail in that, then you're going to have the opposite. You're going to have a life of a lot of suffering and unhappiness and dissatisfaction. But the question always arises, how do I find my life's task, Robert? I really have no idea. The first thing I say is it all depends on the level of your desire, which is true for anything in life. If you really, really want something, if you really love it, if it's really important to you, you will find the energy. You will find the answer. But if you're only kind of half interested in it, if you're only kind of teased by the idea, if you're intrigued by it, it's not enough. You'll never have the energy to go through the search of discovering your life's task. So I tell you, you have to love this idea. You have to love that unique person in you as if it's like an actual human being that you love. You falling in love with it, you want them, you want to pursue it. It means a lot to you. You also have hate, because hate and anger is a very powerful emotion. You need to be motivated to this. What do you hate? You hate all the other influences in your life. They're distracting you from your life's task. You hate your parents for telling you this is what you should go into. You don't hate your parents, but you hate them telling you that this is what you should go into. You need to become a lawyer. You need to become a doctor. You need to do this. Get rid of that. Get out of my life. Get that bullshit out of my head. You hate peers who are telling you what's cool, what's interesting. You hate all the crap on social media. It's filling you with what trends are, with what other people are doing, with what other people are interested. That's your enemy. The enemy is what people are trying to tell you what you should be interested in. So if you're able to generate that kind of love and to see clearly the enemy, then the life's task can kind of flow to you in a kind of nice, fluid manner. Now, the other thing is, as I've told in many other talks before, I do a lot of consulting. And the main problem I have with people who come to me with issues, and it's not to fault them because we all have this problem, is they don't deal with specifics. They kind of deal in generalities. I don't know how to deal with people. I've got this partner and I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know how to get my company or my group energized, etc. I'm trying to say, look, I need details. I need specifics. Don't focus on the big picture. Give me the details. Give me stories of what people are doing. Give me stories and details about what you've done and your frustration. I want to hear the little grains of sand, not the whole ocean of what's going on, right? People have a very hard time focusing on it. Well, it's the same thing with your life's task. It's not going to be Robert Greene wakes up and he's 9 years old and he goes, I want to be a writer. I'm going to write books. It doesn't work like that. You're not going to be able to find that in your past. What you want are little details, little signs that reveal something essential. So if I look back at my own life, I know it sounds a bit narcissistic, but it's easy because I know my own experience. I don't know yours. When I was about 9, 10 years old, I was in 4th grade. I remember very distinctly. I remember the day very distinctly. My teacher, Ms. Fiore, she put on this new game for us on the blackboard. She wrote on the blackboard the word carpenter. I still remember it vividly. And she said, how many words can you spell out of that word carpenter? Something went on in my brain going, whoa, what an exciting, fun game. You mean you can form words out of other words? That is so interesting. I remember the word that I first formed to this day was the word ant. And I go, wow, you could form the word ant out of carpenter. Weird. I also remember I formed the word crab, and I don't think she was very happy about that. But anyway, I ended up winning the contest because I was so excited about it. And what that showed to me was I was fascinated with words, with just the look of words, the sound of words. And I was, something about it just excited me in a primal way that you can't explain. And then I remember, it's a very trivial, stupid story, but it revealed something about my relationship to language. I remember I wrote a short story shortly thereafter, an embarrassing short story that if ever got published would shame me to death. It was about the first humans that appeared on the planet and the vultures that are observing them. The story was written from the point of view of vultures. But here I was trying to generate stories from an early age. And then I remember I went to Hebrew school as a child, preparing for a bar mitzvah. And the letters, the Hebrew letters, I thought this was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. They were like poetry. Learning the sounds of it was difficult enough, but the shape of those letters was so beautiful. So words, the look of words, the sound of words, the putting them together, the stories, they fascinated me, as did books. I often ask people, what is the thing that you want to do the most on your own? If you could close your door and get away from your parents, which all children have that desire for, what is it that you would do? And for me, whenever and this happened a lot, I would close that damn door and I would get out all my books and I would just read and read and read and read and read. These are the little signs that revealed that Robert, very young Robert, had a love of language, that writing was something that would be a natural fit for him. And then, of course, I went on an adventure that I described in my TED Talk about how I ended up writing the kind of books that I write. But that gives you an idea of a little bit of the process. It's a book that I love and I highly recommend called The Frames of Intelligence by Howard Gardner. And basically, the idea is there are 5 forms of intelligence that he kind of signals in his book. And he says that everybody has a kind of tendency in their brain towards that kind of intelligence. And just very briefly, there's words and linguistics, like I mentioned for me. There's music and musical pattern, which is an obsession with sounds for their own sake, and melody and harmony and all these other things. There's mathematics and logic, which is numbers and the ordering of things in logical fashion. There's spatial intelligence, which is something I failed miserably when I was a child, which is actually looking at images and figuring out how to manipulate them in your brain, something that Nikolai Tesla was probably the greatest genius at. People who end up in engineering or who are visual artists often have that. And finally, there's kinetic intelligence, which is the body, which is, just basically the love of moving your body and having an awareness of it. I would add another one, which is social intelligence, the love of getting along with people, of empathizing with them, understanding their world. The idea is that your brain has a natural inclination. Just look at it as kind of a going down a hill, that your thoughts and ideas incline in that direction. They incline towards words, towards sounds and music, towards spatial organization, towards logical ordering of things, towards moving your body, towards people. There might be even other grades of this or whatever. Okay. And it's not like I want to be a mathematician when you're 6 years old, or I'm going to become a physicist. It's these little things that reveal that you have this kind of inclination, like I had towards words.
There's a lot more in there. It's like another 5 minutes of that, but I definitely want people to get some of those books that he has wrote, and definitely check out the last one he mentioned there in terms of
Intelligence of the mind. I think it was A Power of the
Yeah.
Mind, something like that. Yeah, man. I was looking at that one too, like, ooh, hold on.
There was
That
some
one.
and then when he mentioned social intelligence, connecting people, it spoke to me. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're.
Come
That's
on,
the.
Aki. Come on.
Some of the things I want to take from what he mentioned. He said, desire, energy, discover, pursuit, a passion and love for, and that your enemy are the people that are telling you what to be interested in. Listen, I get it all the time. My wife, my mom, my sister, my uncle, my cousin. Yo, you need to go. I don't know. I'm not. That's what you need to do. That's how you want to do it. That's not where my heart lies. This is why I feel like, I was somewhat of the black sheep of the family, because people are so structured by, I gotta go do it this way because that's what I've been raised to know. But that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? You can go against the grain and build something that's more beneficial to the entire family and generations to come.
Like he said in the beginning, it's realistically, you were born with your own individuality. You were born with your own identity. So the fact of the matter is, you don't have to do it the way somebody else did it, or because you think that's the way it should be done, because
Correct.
you have your own way of doing it that speaks to everyone in the same manner, but just from your uniquely designed way. I mean,
Correct.
it's the same like we do on our conference calls, Aki. Like in the beginning, we used to sit. It used to be a little, like, I would say it wasn't terrifying. It was more like a little different, a little, you know what I'm saying, like nervous, because everybody we would be presenting and speaking the word of Yahweh in our own way, but without real, like, we were always hear how everybody else was doing it, and like, oh man, I can't do it like that. That's crazy. Like, it sounds hard. It sounds this, but after a while, when you start to really just hone in and do it, you find out you speak to it in a different way, and it resonates. The way I do it is different from the way my dad does it, and it's different from the way my sister does it, but we all get the same desired effect from once we do it. Mine's is from more of an instructional pattern and way. My dad's is more of a coaching manner. My sister's is more of a this soft spoken but heaviness. You know what I'm saying? Softly spoken but heavy in impact. You get what I mean? The way my brother Wan does it, he does it from an entertaining aspect. But we individually, we're all doing the same thing, but you're getting it from a different aspects. And it's teaching me. I'm a teacher naturally. I naturally am a natural teacher leader. I can stand in front of a crowd now and talk. I was always like that, which was crazy as a child to think about it now. I didn't mind standing up in front of the teacher and standing up in front of the class talking and saying something. But I was confident in doing that. I wasn't confident in reading all of the time, but then I was the person who was always helping other people when they weren't confident enough. I would be the one assisting them, the motivational type, you know what I'm saying? The way like it seems to me, I always felt like if somebody else is scared to do it, I'll step up and do it just to show them that you don't have to be scared. And I'm sitting here scared myself. You know what I mean? That's how I seen it. That's how I seen it. So what he was speaking to, it spoke to me in that same manner when it came down to the social intelligence and just being able to, do that. It makes me think like a lot of people used to, like I said earlier, like my dad used to tell me, oh man, when he got the same foot I'm injured in, he got injured in his same foot, and then he used to have me crack it, and I used to do it in certain ways where it was like I was like a chiropractor. He was like, man, you need to go to school for that. You need to go to school for that. And it was just like, all right, but I don't really want to. I ain't really into doing this massage therapy. I knew how to give good massages, but I didn't want to go to school for that because I wasn't really into it. You know what I mean? But it was still those little different things, and I know they did it out of love. It was just like, man, you don't realize what you're good at, and you're naturally good at it. Why you just don't pursue it? It was because it was like me being naturally good at it. I'm a person who I don't like to be bored. And if I learn something, or if I'm naturally good at something and I get into it, it'll become redundant and boring to me. I need something to help keep me excited. So that's why I didn't necessarily fall in line to a lot of those different things. I did things to keep me excited about something. And when it came down to music always kept me excited because I was finding new ways of expressing myself, new ways of different, new ways of talking, different sounds, different styles, different things. And it was crazy because that's how I started making beats. And I didn't realize how good I was at making beats, but I just got comfortable and got familiar with and was having fun with putting sounds together and making things sound crazy but sound from my own experience and my own way. And I remember it was a few people, my brother, it was a few other DJs, other people around me. They used to like, bro, you should stop trying to rap. You should just stick to making beats. And that was always
that's another thing. And it goes to what Robert's saying is like, that's the enemy, telling you what to do when it's like, nah, man, I can do it all.
and that's why I love effort so much, is because that is spoke to me. It lets me put even the other music that I have made. Like I got some songs that's not out that I'll just be sitting there like, damn, bro, I really did like rapping wise, like nigga, I was gassing, you know what I mean? And then it just made me go, yeah, I get to look at people like, yeah, you was the person that told me to stick to making beats, huh? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Come hear me now.
Yeah. Come check me out now. I bet you I say some stuff and go right over your head and you don't even know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like those different type of things. And it kept me. I feel like that was always my purpose, was to always try to not just to prove to myself, but to prove to others, like, you keep trying to tell me what I need to do. I'm going to show you what I like doing and what I want to do in my own way. And, and poetry was always a good thing for me too. I found myself being real great at telling stories from a poetic way. And that's why Tupac was one of my favorite musicians, because he did it in poetically. And, and to this day, like I will always find a way to teach somebody something in a way where it just gives them thought provoking. And I know that that's my purpose. How success wise, monetary wise, me making money from it. Yeah, I haven't made $1 million off of it yet, but successfully in my heart, I've changed so many people's life. You don't even understand. When I left the Santa Monica from being an ambassador, bro, do you know how many people was hurt that I left that company from being a team leader there, bro? Do you know how many people was literally sad that I was leaving? And
That's
then it tripped me out because it was just like, they was like, man, bro, like you was like the best team leader here. Like you was and all of those things. I wasn't looking for those. I was just being me.
right,
And
just being you.
I used to tell them that every Monday, man. I'm like, look, I'm not here to try to tell you how to do your job. I'm just here to try to help you understand from a worker's perspective and the company's perspective, and how we can work together as a team and how to do certain things. And people were literally sad, bro. I still got these people on my social media now that hit me up and still tell me the same thing, bro. They miss me being a team leader. They remember they remind me of those days because of how impactful I was to them. I was changing people's mornings, bro. People were coming into morning to the point where they didn't even want to come to work. And because of my energy and who I was and how I was, bro, they was showing up to work before me and was already had everything lined up for me. Like they was like, hey, everything is done already. We got all of our stuff we need. You just got to go down the roll call and, you know, saying, make sure we're good, but we're ready to go already. Like they ready to work.
I don't want you to ever forget that feeling, Aki.
I'm never going to forget that. Thank you, Aki.
Because I know, because I want you to understand something, that I know that there's moments. I know that there's moments, us as leaders within our space, communities, work environment, family, etc. I know that there's times where we have our mental pitfalls. You know what I mean? And we question things like, why is Yahweh putting me through this? Or why did this occur? Or why am I financially in a tight situation? Why is this transpiring right now in the moment? And then I want you to take key moments in your life. For everybody that's tuned in and digests this later, remember this: do not forget your past wins. Do not forget those moments of have clarity, and remember that all those W's you've had in the past, let it resonate with you in the present moment, to not forget how powerful you truly are. Don't ever forget that shit, Aki. You have a lot of wisdom. You inspire a lot of people. You inspire me and a lot of people who watch these things. I get people that text me right now, you know, when they see the clips, when I repurpose the clips of our past episodes, and people are like, I love what you guys are doing. I need more. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't digest it here in the moment, and we just have 1, 2, 3 people tune in, people are watching, and what we're providing is very valuable and detriment to other people's lives.
Thank you,
and
man. Thank you.
You're doing something special.
Man, and thank you for saying that, because it brought up my spirit a little bit more better, because for me to even think about that, because like I said, that right there was the most humbling things that people have said to me. Like even still to this day, like there's certain people who they hit me on social media, hey, we need to link up, man. I miss this, I miss that. And from that time, and even me and my wife sometimes, because we both worked there, we were those gems and those jewels that people had gravitated to and loved, and everybody wanted to be around us and keep our energy around them because of that, because of just, you know, that. But it was, I can remember. I now I'm feeling it. Like now I'm feeling it, because like, I can remember standing there every morning doing this, and you know what I mean, and really giving, and they're all glued to me like this, bro. They're
special.
like stuck, but they listening to me, and I'm just telling them what to do, how to live, how to move, how to maneuver, how to operate, how to still do your job, but still, you know, be yourself. How to do it. I really changed their lives, Aki. The moment I wasn't even a team leader yet. I was still fresh there. I was probably my 3rd month there. And I remember something, just Yahweh gave me the idea of really just like, all right, let me be me. Like, let me get comfortable now. And I remember I was out sweeping, cleaning up some stuff out in the park, and dispatch had called me, and it was just, and we had call names, you know what I'm saying? And my call number was L3. And I don't know, man. It just it flows so smooth. Like it was so crazy. They was dispatch said, dispatch to L3, and they was calling me. And then I don't know, something just told me, when I finally heard that, something just said answer. So I asked her, I said, L3, the one and only, talk to me. And it said it over the whole radio, and everybody just was like, what? And when I walked into the room after I got called back because I had to go back to base. I walked in, bro. That became my name, the one and only, bro. That became my name. Nobody called me by my L number anymore. They didn't call me L3, bro. They called me the one and only. And still to this day, people hit me up. Hey, what's up, the one and only? Like, I get that sometimes, bro. And it just make me happy because it was just like, bro, I wasn't trying to like be that. It rolled off my tongue. You get what I mean? It rolled off my tongue that way. And then the reaction that everybody was just like, it was so smooth though. And it was just like, yeah, that's who you are, bro. Like that's who you are, bro. Like that's now you. Like and it was so funny because I knew I held so much power with just that. Dispatch was calling me that. They stopped calling me by my L number. And it got to the point where corporate then had to come in and say, hey, call him by his L number. Stop calling him that. Like they got mad because I'm the only one on the radio being called the one and only. Everybody else is getting called by their numbers, bro. That's when I knew, like, oh yeah, I did it. Yeah. I am him. I'm him. I'm he. I'm.
Powerful,
you know what I mean? So that's what made me kind of help find understand my purpose in life, and was to be an ambassador, a person with a diplomatic message. So that's why I love this platform, and I love you for coming together and bringing this platform together, bro, because it really helps me shine with that same level of integrity and being that person that, you know, really is impactful in the way that nobody else could do it like me.
Definitely. 100%. There's a key point I want to take from Robert Greene as well. For the ones that are tuned in now and will consume this later, there's a moment. If we look back at our lives, it can happen when you're 9 years old. It can happen while you're in high school, 10, 15 years old, whatever it is. I want you guys to look back at certain key moments in your life and think about some things that you were doing, reviewing, trying, testing, hobbying, whatever it is that you were doing that gave you a feeling of joy, of love, of fulfillment, of a slight moment of passion. And look back at those things and then come back to the moment and think, man, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me get back to that feeling and let me get back to that space. So that way you can give that a go. Because I'm sure, Aki, there has to be a moment when you were probably 10, 15, 20 years old that you can look back on that didn't quite make sense to you back then, that you were like, I'm going to be a leader and I'm going to be a motivational speaker and I'm going to be, you know, detriment to a lot of a young generation. Can you think back now at this moment, 10, 15, 20 years old, and give us that experience?
Bro, at the age of, I want to say at the age of, I was 9 or 10. I was 9 or 10. Me, my brother, and my cousin. I was living together. Me and my brother was living with my cousin at the time, and my mom gave us instructions to, like, we got, like, my mom didn't really allow me and my brother to really go too far and explore the world. My uncle didn't care for my cousin really going out. Like, he cared, but he was like, he a boy, you got to go out and go out and do shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go out and do stuff. So right. when it was all three of us together, they had more confidence. Like, hey, all y'all go out and, you know, y'all go find something. We was going to the homie's house. We at the time, we didn't have bikes really. We had to walk and stuff like that. So we walked to the homie's house, and I was playing the game with one of my friends, and then my brother and my cousin, they went to the other homie house, which is down the street. But I had told them, hey, come get me before y'all go home. So therefore we can, you know, we all can go back home, like mom said. Well, it didn't happen that way. They end up going home and forgot me. I lost track of time, but I was over there playing, and it got to the point where my mom had to call, and she like put out APB on me, bro. Like, she was looking because them two, they didn't forgot where I was at. They like, oh, we don't even know where he was at. Like, they forgot. So, you know, I had got in trouble real quick, but that's when it kind of hit me like, damn, bro, I gave a plan. I knew if it wasn't for me really saying what I needed to say, like, these fool knuckleheads would have forgot. I wouldn't have forgot. I wouldn't if I'd have left one of them, or we would have left somebody else's. If they would have been in my shoes, we going to go back to go get such and such, because we need to make sure we get home, so we ain't get, you know what I'm saying, we can get what we need to do. But at that time, I knew, like, I know I could be a leader, because I got in trouble because I was missing and didn't say anything, but I didn't really like, it didn't dawn on me because I was focused on what I was doing, but I didn't leave and go anywhere. These niggas went and did something other than and went off and did something else. But they got in trouble more because they didn't come back and come get me. I got constructive talk to, like, it's like I became the oldest one out of all three of us, bro. And my cousin was older than me. He would get look, we in school, I'll be the one that they would all like, why y'all can't be like him? Why y'all can't be like Demont? Like, I had the intellect and intelligence of that leader role, of that person, to say how we should do things, how we should really operate. And then that was, like I said, at 10. Again, it was when I was 19 years old. I was working for the city, and me and my dad had a homeboy that they both was working for the city. They got us into the program, and at that time I didn't have a car, but the homie did, so I was getting rides with him. But we were working and doing our job very well, and to the point where they let me be doing my job by myself, bro. Like, they looked at me and was like, "Hey, he know how to let him work by himself. Let me pull it." And they start pulling everybody else away, and I was getting stuff done quick by myself, and they was just like, they couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I knew what I was doing, so I was doing it, like, and I was getting work done, you know what I'm saying? So those moments right there helped me realize, like, man, I'm naturally born how to lead and influence and motivate others. And as long as people can really listen to me, I think that's my most frustrating part about me in this role, is when people don't take my advice or listen or consider what I tell them. It kind of frustrates me, because it just be like, I can see things that you can't see, and I really hope that you want to, you know what I'm saying, you can really see these things. And for me, I had to look at that too, but it was just more like, that's when I knew, like, I'm different from a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people love me. And I didn't want people to be like me. I always didn't agree with them when they used to say that, "Hey, y'all got to be like him. Y'all got to be like," I didn't ever agree with that, but I was the example. I was something that was that parents, I was the child parents would love to have. You get what I mean? Because it was like they can trust in me. I picked up on stuff real quickly. I was able to do things. I knew how to put pieces into the right places. And, you know, I knew how to operate in a manner where parents could trust me, to the point where now, man, I'm 19 years old, even though I got my brothers and the homies, bro. I had my homie mom literally like, "Please bring them back safely. Please bring them," like, she was begging me to make sure that I brought them home safe and got them back on time. It's like she has so much trust in me that it scared me, because it's like, lady, these are I'm not, these not my I don't have to watch after your children. Like,
right.
She was so,
giving me the responsibility.
yeah, like, she left me with the responsibility, because she felt like, you're just responsible, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're responsible enough to make sure things can go in the manner they need to go, and I just feel comfortable and safe with you. And that's how a lot of people have started feeling, and that's what kind of helped me realize. So now, even to this day, like, I always knew I wanted to be a dad, I wanted to be a father. It was because I knew I have a lot of what it takes. And now, even though it's a different time frame from then, now from back then, and what I thought it was like to be a parent and be a father, I still enjoy these moments. I still, enjoy this time, because it really fulfills me in that manner of being a pops, man, and being a leader, having to teach someone else how to innately grow with that, because my sons are like that. My first oldest son, Yermi Yahoo, he's like that, bro gonna be a leader too. He's gonna be liked so much, because he has this love inside of him that you can't help but want to be around, and you're going to want to listen to him, even though he can be telling you some things. You're just going to want to be involved and around him, because he's going to know how to put things in the right places. He's smart and intelligent already, and I look at that and be amazed, because it's just like, I can see the instincts. He has a lot of my instincts in him, you know what I'm saying, which I have a lot of my instincts of my dad too. But those are a few times where I can think back that I knew, kind of like, hey, I'm still fulfilling my purpose in life, because how I was then and how I'm doing now.
100%. Love it, Aki. Love it. Now, Snoopy says here in the comments, so the social intelligence. She says social intelligence. That's me. So she picks up on what Robert Greene said in terms of social intelligence. Yeah. She says that my problem is I also get bored very easy. And then she says here, I always know I'm ahead of the pack.
That part.
That's a visionary right there.
You Snoop, that's what you are. That's who you are. That's what it is. That's what it's like. That's you keep honing into that and being who you are for that, because the people who really look up to you, you won't even realize who looks up to you until you really sit back and look at who looks up to you. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm 5 years younger than my oldest male cousin, and he told me about 7, 8 years ago, he looked up to me. I'm 5 years younger than him. I looked up to him just for him to turn around and tell me, nah, man, I looked up to you, bro. I like the how you do things, how you getting it. It's like that. It impressed me.
It's crazy that you say that, Aki, because you'll be surprised who's inspired by us right now at this very moment. Even though we know and feel that there's another level of success that we want to accomplish, right? There are still people right now at this very moment that are inspired by what we're doing right now, that haven't quite figured it out or understand what they're trying to do with their life. But because they see us at our age still pursuing what we're pursuing and not letting it deter us, they're inspired by it. I had a conversation with 65 Rose, and 65 Rose was like, bro, what you did in the last 8 months as an entrepreneur inspires me to want to do it with my fitness company. You know what I'm saying? And then when I look back, when I take the key point of Robert Greene and I look back to my early 20s, when I was working for Merrill Lynch in stocks and bonds, right? Overseeing other people's investments accounts when I was young in high school. This was high school time. I was probably like a junior. And I'm sitting in the cubicle, Aki, and I'm overseeing these accounts. I was like, this is not what I want to do. In terms of overseeing other people's money, I don't want to sit in a cubicle. Now, if I fast forward now, I'm back. I circle back around to I'm back in the stock market, investing, things that I did that I was interested when I was young. Then if I look through all my early 20s of working for other people, I've always clashed with authority and people that felt the need to abuse their power and thought that they could speak to you a certain way. And I never felt comfortable with that because I don't like the boss mentality. I appreciate a leader's mentality. And I want people to understand there's a difference between a boss and a leader. A boss bosses you around and tells you what to do. A leader teaches you on how to do it and provides you a different deliverance on how to do it. You know, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So when people were instructing me a certain way, abusing their power and bossing me around, it didn't feel good to my spirit. That's when I always knew I was like, I'd rather be running things on my own accord at my own time. And even though it's harder to be an entrepreneur and it's a 24/7 job, you know, on top of every other responsibility we have in our lives, I feel more fulfilled now than I did ever working for somebody else where I've made, you know, $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week in the oil field. Like, it's not even the monetary gain at this point. It's more of just like being able to just wake up feeling fulfilled that you're doing what you feel good doing on your own accord, on your own time, and applying yourself.
You inspired me to get closer and closer to that. That's why I keep you on a tight leash, Shocky.
That's why we're gonna learn this affiliate marketing.
Hey, because man, I
6 figures, Aki. We're gonna figure this thing out.
I know, because I see you do it and I see that, and you know, we have our talks and stuff. But I've been watching you for the last 2 years, bro. You really, and you know, us being peers in around the same age, that's what makes me like, damn it, bro. This nigga is still doing. He's still doing it. I know he got a lot of heat coming from his household in certain aspects, and I know he's underneath it. I know he's going through it.
I got it right before the podcast. I'm sitting there and I'm having a wonderful live stream on TikTok. Now I gotta thank Snoopy for this, because nobody quite knows this, but Snoopy's one of the main reasons why I didn't give up the TikTok grind. Because there was a moment where I was gonna hang it all up. I said, you know what? F all this. It's too much drama. I can't do it. I got a headache. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was mentally draining me. But Snoopy was like, no, you're not hanging it up. Take a couple days off and come back. We're gonna figure it out. And then 2 weeks later, we had the explosion, which happened today, right? So long story short, before coming on to the podcast, I'm having a tremendous stream. I'm doing my giveaway. Boom, 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 boom. She comes walking in behind me with the grill and the delivery, the negativity. You still on the app? You still on the stream? And I had to turn without losing my concentration in the room because, you know, in the room we got high energy, we got the music going, boom, boom, boom. I turned around, I said, Mom, I'm in a giveaway. I told you I was going to be busy this Sunday. And then she goes, right? Check it out. I'm still keeping consideration of what she said. I'm in the stream. I cut it early. I knock it out, boom, throw it. And then I tell the community, yo, I gotta go take care of the kids. I gotta go feed the kiddos. I cut it short, right? Because we were all celebrating what happened today. So boom, I cut it short. Then I go, I have consideration. I tell Mom, what is it that you need? Well, this is what's happening at work. This is what we need now for the kids. Isaac's not feeling well, boom, boom, boom. I said, all right, I want you to go into the room. I want you to take a shower. I'm going to take care of everything. And that's what I did, Aki. I took care of everything. I went out there. I grilled. I seasoned. I made a banging ass meal. I took care of the son. His fever's down. I took care of everything. Now, this is what I want to say when it comes to seeking purpose on all age. There is going to be trials and trials and trials and storms and storms and storms. And you're going to get it from the people that you love the most. Your wife is going to tell you, what the hell are you doing on this thing? Why are you not done with this? You need to go back and find a job or whatever the case may be. Nobody's going to understand your vision the way you understand your vision. And this is what pushed me to then consider affiliate marketing. And then I told her, I said, Mom, I'm looking at a side business venture that's going to take me about 6 to 8 months to build. But it's going to be another source of income that could potentially turn into 5-6 figures. I know you want me to go back out and work for somebody else, but I need you to trust me in this process. And if this doesn't work in 6 to 8 months, then I'll go ahead and I'll consider it and I'll go back out there. But I'm going to let you know something. I'm still not going to stop pursuing what I'm pursuing right now. It's not going to stop because I believe in it enough where if we can get it to 6-7 figures, you ain't got to work no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to hold on to. And you start with small increments. When I have a number right now on the board, I have $100,000 on the board, and I'm starting with increments. I'm going to get a portfolio to 10,000, take half out, leave half in the portfolio. Turn 5 into 25, 30,000, take half, leave it in the portfolio. Turn 15, 20 to 100,000, boom, then we hit 100,000. Now, granted, it's easier said than done. It may not even work that way. But because I am writing it down and I'm being intentional with my maneuvers and the things I want to do with affiliate marketing, with other avenues of making income, with trying new things out, being uncomfortable, applying myself with intent, working behind it, doing the research, eventually it's going to happen. Why? Because I said there's going to be 100 people in the room. There was 70 today. If I can do that with just people in the room, why can't I do that with the amount of money that I want in my bank account?
Say it again, Aki. Say it again. Man.
Plain and simple.
But that's what I'm saying. I understand how you know what I mean. I understand, trust and believe you me. Every day too, me and mine, we talk about certain things, especially when it came to, because now I have this, this unexpected thing that happened in life when it came down to me and my injury. Now it really pushed the limit on it. And it was just like, you know what? I have a lot of information and I understand that, but if we don't have other sources of income that can really benefit us, it's never going to work. Like, I don't want, because of the way they do these vaccines things, I don't want my children to be going to certain places or have to succumb to doing that. So I understand that I won't have control over these things. So if I want to have control over these things, I need to be able to have the resources at hand. So therefore I can say yes or no. Now they not dealing with that, or we're not succumbing to that. So, that's why I look at it and you inspire me, because I can see me and you are, like I said, in the same peer group. And if you're doing it, you have the knowledge, the wits, you've had the experience to do it. I never really had that. I can always come to you and say, hey man, what you doing this?
We'll knock it out.
And
you know what I mean?
It's affiliate
We're not-
marketing. I feel like is gonna be grand because nowadays and back then it was booming, but that was different. People were doing different things, and it was more of a
Mhm.
scheme and a scam
Right.
back then for people to
Right.
doing it, and that's what I feel like. That's why it discouraged me. But now, because of what is all transpired and what's going on in the world, I think we'll definitely be able to have a little bit more success with this. And then for us, the way our minds work and things like we're
Mhm.
like-minded individuals, we can put our heads together and really collaborate and really get some stuff
100%.
done. Get some stuff
100%.
done.
100%. And I wanna take this on a quick final note. Even, let's just say, even if it doesn't work out for whatever reason and we don't reach 5 6 figures in 6 months, a year, whatever it is that we choose to pursue this side venture, I want to let people know there's going to be a skill set that we're going to learn to be able to apply it on other businesses, whether it's the whether it's whether it's the music, whether it's the film. We're going to learn another side of marketing when it comes to this side of the business. We're going to gain access to information that we didn't have previously. Think
Right.
about the way the film and music industry works. In film and music, what do? They turn everything into a product. They turn it into a t-shirt, a mug, a hat, a cap, a toy, a this, a that, a cartoon. That's all part of affiliate marketing. That's all part of the process. So we're going to be learning some valuable tools and some information along the line, and we're going to be providing you guys some value. So again, if you guys are listening in, whether it's now or later on, and you guys are looking for, and you guys are in the market trying to, buy particular products in whatever particular industry it's in, whatever manufacturer, reach out to me and ONTL Dewan. We'll do the research. We'll apply some comparisons. We'll get you the best product out there. Hit the link in my bio. I'm currently affiliated with Amazon. I plan on checking out ClickBank so that way I can see other reputable companies that I plan on working with. And if it's going to be beneficial to me and Aki and our families, I'll make sure to also do some reviews on it too, so to be able to provide that value to you guys as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
All right.
You'll hear us talking about it on Dropping Gems and the shows. Definitely, what I'm saying, if we definitely have a way of breaking through and getting, even if it's not the 100,000 or the 5 figures, even if it's just making $1,000
Yeah, an
extra
extra.
on
Yeah,
the side. If we getting
yeah,
$1,000 extra on the side or $500 extra a month just for us
right.
to be able to have, and we're gonna be able to talk about that here on the show, man. This is what
Definitely.
we're here to do, and this is why we here, man. This is Dropping Gems, man. Hey, this is episode 4.
Episode
Sheesh.
4. We got 6 more episodes to go. Today was seeking purpose. I hope that today there was some enlightenment, a thought process, a bulb that may have went off. I know that Snoopy was definitely locked
Shout
in, and
out
she
to
was some,
Snoopy.
she was definitely locked in and was like, some things are definitely speaking to her right now. And I know she's going to process these things. She's going to resonate with it. And then she's going to come back full force. She's doing some special things in the space right now on TikTok. And I know
Impose. Man,
she's,
appreciate you, brother.
I got Impulse. We got to definitely get. And I told Impulse in Unified Media real quick before we head out. Impulse, I did tag you in regards to our duo project. Once I take care of these endeavors that I'm doing outside of music, and I have the flexibility, we're gonna definitely get back to knocking out these duo records. Me and Aki still have a record that we have to work on. We're gonna definitely get back to our creative space. We're just working on some other endeavors right now to solidify some foundation, to make sure to ease some things that we're currently pushing through right now.
Appreciate
So
you, man. Love and energy, sending positive energy back your way. All right,
that
man.
boy is so talented.
Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Appreciate you for tapping in.
Aki, before we head out, what's some things that you can take from this particular episode that really hit home for you? Real quick.
Man, the fact that I was that we watched Mr. Robert Greene and he made us really, for me, to go back and look at those highlights in my life from back 10 15 years ago and see where me just being myself kind of helped me stay motivated in my purpose, and that is my purpose is to continue to just be inspiring. And one thing I love about the fact that we're doing this is because in my Hebrew name, Asael, it means to do. And to do means to perform, to be, to bring about, to bring into existence. And now it's like I'm always constantly figuring out how to better myself and how to bring that desired effect, what I can do, how I can be better, and what I can do. And I never really thought about plans. Like I always hear about plans. I may have like a little bit of plans, but I never really thought about having a full plan. And at this episode with the seeking purpose, it gave me the ability to, you know, contemplate and really put together a true plan, not just for myself but for my family, and to really think about what is important and what needs to be done. And you know, and to always continue to study my Hebrew name, because it's so much power in my name, Aki. My real purpose in life is to be able to utilize what I've taken, the information I've taken out of my Hebrew name, the power that I have in my name Asael, and to express and give back and to teach from from that way, because my name means to bring into existence. So a lot of times I'm helping others bring forth into their own existence from my existence in itself. You get what I mean? And that's what I understand my true purpose is. So that's why I can never deviate from here. I don't care how many people is watching now to how many people may watch later. I love doing this so much, and I've never been a solo person. I've always had to have a collaborative effort. Why? Because I bounce energy off, you know what I'm saying, back and forth energy. And for me, it helps. I think that's always been my purpose, is building. Like one of my first things that I used to do when I was a kid was an architect. I always wanted to be an architect, but I didn't realize, you know, that's the physical thing, is making houses. I want to always build my own house and build it from, you know, ground up in my own way, not realizing the house that I have right here that I'm building and been building in my own way. It just made me go,
and building other people's spiritual homes within them.
Man, Aki. And so not that's why this show really spoke to me in seeking purpose, is when you really go back and look at the things that you were good at, that brought joy to you, that made you feel successful, and feeling it, just to continue to hold on to that. And you know, having this episode right now just really helped me get back to that moment, that time, that place, those moments, and that feeling of like, ooh, I am doing something I'm supposed to be doing. And then, and, you know, every day it keeps me motivated to the point now I'm starting to be ahead of the game rather than being at the end and at the tail end of it. You know what I mean? Starting to get ahead.
Love it, Aki. Love it. Love and light to everybody. This episode, we're gonna set it off with Impulse saying, we have God within us all. If you can think of something you want, project the energy into the world and make it a real thing. That, my friend, is a God liability. That's why they want to separate us. When we come together and become united. That's when magic happens and we can do the impossible. God-like ability.
See, look, man. See, man, I love you, Zams. I love you, Zams, because I just watched the episode of Yahweh on YouTube where it says myself equals yourself, L equals L. So that, remember, and I broke down what self was. Remember, inside of self is the EL, right?
Mhm.
And so the L in me speaks to the L in you, and that's why we're able to connect together. And because now I'm talking to myself with inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Myself is yourself. So that's exactly how it is, man. And that's your purpose in life, is to always speak to the L in someone else, to the God in someone else. And how you do it is how you do it, how you're presented. He'll give you the ability to do it. It may not be the same like me. Me and JR are two different people, but we project ourselves in two different manners, but at the same time we speak to each other in the same manner and we understand each other in the same way. So that's why we're able to bring y'all this episode, man.
Definitely appreciate you, King. Stay blessed, everyone. We'll see you guys next week, Sunday, for episode 5. We'll let you guys know.
Halfway through it, episode 5. Let's go.
Stay blessed, King.
Yes,
Talk to everybody soon.
Yes.